In this video, you'll discover how you can naturally brighten your smile and improve your oral health through oil pulling. Now, I know you want to have a bright white smile, and you also want to make sure that you prevent tooth decay if you're anything like me. But the thing is that in modern society, we're really just taught to brush your teeth every day, and the rest is really left up to chance. But if you're like me and my family, we want to add in other techniques in order to help improve our oral hygiene. And that's why we're going to talk about oil pulling benefits. Now, oil pulling is this Indian folk remedy that some people say is just a total loony thing that really holds no weight, and other people say it really works well and it's done wonders for their overall oral hygiene. What we're going to talk about in today's video is the science behind this, and at the end of this video, what I'll do is I'll teach you how to actually perform oil pulling. So stick around to the end, but before we get started, I'm Dr. Zarowski, and welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification, and join our notification community so that way I can help you excel your health and your life. Let's go ahead and dive right into this topic, and we're going to start off with what is oil pulling, okay? Oil pulling is a natural oral care technique. This is something where you basically are taking some oil, swishing it around in your mouth, and it really helps improve your overall oral hygiene. We're going to talk about all the benefits in this video. Now, why would you do it? Okay, you would do it because dental decay is a major issue in today's society. It's actually a $442 billion problem every single year. People's teeth are decaying out. They're getting their teeth removed. They're getting all different types of dental work done that is very, very expensive. And sometimes they're getting cavities with mercury fillings, which is very detrimental to your overall health, which is a different topic for a different time, but it's very important to make sure that we're taking care of our oral health for this reason. Now, the other reason this is important is because when you brush your teeth, it's estimated that brushing only cleans about 60% of the mouth's surfaces. So we want to make sure that we're cleaning the whole mouth, and so this is why adding in some extra care can be very beneficial. And then we also look at this technique of oil pulling, and it's something that's been done for thousands of years. It is nothing new. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how it's actually research backed. Let's go ahead and talk about the benefits of oil pulling. So first of all, it's going to help reduce bad breath. You know, some people have this issue, and some people know people who have this issue. And the truth is that, when we look at bad breath, it can be due to a lot of different reasons. It can be due to poor oral hygiene. It also can be to bacteria being stuck on the tongue and not being cleaned off well. Also, it can be due to poor gut health. Okay, a lot of gut conditions can cause some really bad breath in people. It can be due to bacteria being trapped in all areas of the mouth. Okay, whether it's the gums, between the teeth, on the tongue, everywhere in the mouth, you can get this bacteria trapped in there, and it causes a lot of issues. Okay. So utilizing oil pulling can be very beneficial for actually reducing that problem of bad breath. Let's go ahead and take a look at the research here. In the Journal of the Indian Society of Pedodontics and Prevention Dentistry, here's what they did. They took 20 people, and over a 2-week period, what they had them do is utilize oil pulling. They wanted to see if it actually worked. Is it something that works, or is it really just a folk remedy that is something that's been around for a while, but we don't know that it works? Well, here's what happened. It showed significant reduction in all bad breath markers, okay? So this is something that is really powerful here, because if you can reduce all the bad breath markers, then you're going to find that, your bad breath is going to improve by simply using oil pulling. So that's pretty cool. And like I said, it's research proven, and it's factual that it actually helps. Let's go ahead and talk about the next big thing, okay? We're going to talk about 4 different benefits it has to offer. It's going to help kill harmful bacteria, okay? Now, as you may know, there's a lot of bacteria in the mouth. It's estimated that there's 600 to 700 species of bacteria within your mouth. Now, these different bacteria can cause a lot of havoc in there, okay? And cause problems with gingivitis, okay? This is something that a lot of people face. Millions of people face this issue. It can cause problems with tooth decay, which we're going to discuss in just a minute. And this is very important, so keep watching. And also, it can cause problems with bad breath that we just mentioned, and then periodontal disease as well. Let's go ahead and talk about the research here. In the Journal of Contemporary Dental Practice, what they did is they took 60 individuals over a 2-week period. They had them utilize oil pulling. Here's what they found. And they were always taking oil pulling, and they were comparing it to doing nothing at all, using some other form of oral hygiene product, and then oil pulling. They always wanted to see what it did compared to the others, right? It showed significant reduction of harmful bacteria in the saliva, okay? And they typically, in a lot of these studies, were going and checking the saliva and the plaque in the mouth, and they're finding that it had significant reduction of harmful bacteria. So really powerful stuff here, and it's going to help kill that harmful bacteria that is related to a lot of problems like tooth decay. Let's go ahead and talk about this, okay? Now, when we think of tooth decay, we think of, well, you got to have a clean diet, you got to make sure that you're not consuming sugar, and a lot of people just think that sugar directly contributes to tooth decay. But the thing is that the sugar doesn't just go start burning holes in your teeth. The problem is the bacteria in your mouth, which is, out of control, actually going and causing the tooth decay. And so tooth decay is caused by bacteria. Yes, sugar promotes that bacterial problem, but it's really caused by the bacteria. And there's a specific bacteria called Streptococcus mutans, which is very much associated with having tooth decay and dental problems. And so what they basically found is that it's going to help reduce this. Now, you also want to make sure you're reducing sugar intake, like I said, because yes, this is a bacterial problem, but you also are promoting the bacterial problem with a high amount of sugar in your diet. Let's take a look at the science here. So in the Journal of the Indian Society of Periodontics and Prevention Dentistry, we already cited this journal once. They also did another study. What they found is 20 individuals over a 2-week period, and when they were doing oil pulling for that 2-week period, they found a significant reduction in the strep mutans in the saliva and also in the plaque of the mouth. So that's really powerful stuff, because time and time again they've shown if you can actually reduce that strep mutans in the mouth, you can actually reduce dental decay and of course all these other issues like gingivitis and things that we've been talking about, okay? Now, when it comes to cavity prevention, we know that it's very powerful, but then what about reversal, okay? Because there's a lot of testimonials out there on people reversing cavities by going and doing oil pulling. Now, the thing is that when we look at the science, there's not a lot of science backing the fact that it'll actually go and reverse a cavity. When I talk to a lot of different holistic dentists out there, there's a group of dentists called the International Academy of Oral Medicine and Toxicology. They are a group of dentists that are very holistic minded, very natural. And what they tell me basically is that as long as it hasn't, the cavity hasn't actually went and eaten through multiple layers in the tooth and actually gone in and caused a huge cavity. If it's just a very minor cavity that's eaten through the enamel, then essentially you can reverse it. But if it's something that's more severe, you need to actually go and get that fixed up, which is very important because you don't want to be having to get that tooth removed. So when we look at reversing it, like I said, if you look around on the internet, a lot of different isolated cases of people claiming that they reversed it, but according to the science, not so much. I'll tell you a little personal story of my own. When I was in college, I didn't have insurance for dental, and I also didn't have any money. So one of the things that I did is I just, kind of certain areas of my health I didn't take care of, and I didn't go to the dentist on a regular basis. One day, I finally broke down. I said, I need to, take care of this and check into things here because I'm having a little bit of pain in my mouth. So anyway, went to the dentist, basically found out from the dentist I had 4 cavities. Well, I didn't really trust the guy. He gave me a lot of reasons not to trust him. And so when I got home, I just, never followed up with him. I never scheduled an appointment. Many months went by and I decided, you know what, I better actually look into this again. Now, in the meantime, I was really scared because I was like, wow, 4 cavities. I don't even have the money to get this done. And so, I was really scared. I started doing coconut oil pulling. I started doing all these different things in order to help my overall oral hygiene. And just by doing oil pulling over multiple months, I went to the dentist and guess what? I was cavity free. So whether it was oil pulling that actually went and reversed these cavities or it was the dentist trying to rip me off claiming that I had cavities that I didn't, I'm not 100% sure. But you know what? If it was the oil pulling, it worked very well. So anyway, I went from 4 cavities to no cavities, and it could have been the oil pulling. Let's go ahead and move on here. So it reduces gingivitis. Now, this is a problem that many people face today. A lot of inflammation in the gums, a lot of swelling in the gums, and a lot of people, even cause this issue a little bit further when they're brushing their teeth. So we have to be really careful. And so looking at gingivitis and using oil pulling. The oil has an anti-inflammatory property, so it's going to help decrease that inflammation within the gums. It also is going to help reduce strep mutans, which is associated with gingivitis as well. It also helps reduce bad breath, okay? And it also helps reduce bad bacteria, which is going to be very important because as you're seeing time and time again, this bacteria within the mouth causes a lot of issues when it spirals out of control. We're seeing bad breath, we're seeing periodontal disease, we're seeing gingivitis, we're seeing tooth decay. It really is a major issue. That's why oil pulling is powerful, and you're seeing that the research is backing it up. It also is going to help reduce plaque. Now let's take a look at the science. In the Indian Journal of Dental Health, what they found when they took 20 individuals over a 10-day period doing oil pulling, they found significant reduction in plaque and gingival index scores. Okay, so they basically had this little test and they were doing it on them and they were looking at the gingival index scores and they were just dropping on every level. So it's really good to use oil pulling in order to help reverse gingivitis because the research is proving so. Let's talk about how to perform oil pulling and how I do it, okay? So how much oil do you use? Typically when I do oil pulling, I'll just take a scoop right out of the jar, put it in my mouth. You don't want too little, but you also don't want an uncomfortable amount either. Now, rule of thumb is gonna be 1 to 2 teaspoons here, and that is considered to be a good amount that will work well for you. Let's talk about how long should I oil pull. Now, here's the thing. Rule of thumb is about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, when we look at 15 to 20 minutes, if you only do it for 10, you're still doing yourself some good in your oral hygiene. It's not 15 to 20 minutes or nothing at all. And so, like I said, rule of thumb, 15 to 20 minutes, but if it's less, then don't get too worked up over it. Let's talk about the best time of day to do oil pulling. So rule of thumb is that you're gonna wanna do it first thing in the morning. That's when a lot of people say they get great results with it. I actually do it at night because, for me, it's easier at night. If you're gonna utilize any of these methods and find success with them, they have to just fit into your schedule. So for me, at night is when it fits best in my schedule. I actually keep a jar of coconut oil right in the bathroom. I'll take a scoop out, put it in my mouth, take a shower, be swishing it around the whole time, get out, and then after about 15, 20 minutes, spit it out. So I like to keep it super easy, and that's the method in which I use. What types of oil? So when we looked at the research, we kept referring to sesame oil and also coconut oil, okay? Research basically kind of bounced back between these two. Sesame seed oil was a very popular one, and also coconut oil was as well. So those are the two that you really want to use. Some people utilize olive oil, but it wasn't highly used in any of the research. So I would stick to sesame oil or coconut oil. So let me know in the comment section below how you use oil pulling and what kind of results that you've gotten. I'd really love for you to share that with me because, once again, this is something that people say it's a folk remedy and doesn't work. And then, of course, I just explain the science. So let me know what kind of results you've gotten. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and also be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about nutrition, reversing health conditions, fasting, weight loss, all the things that you need in order to improve your health. Hit that bell notification so that you're locked in, you never miss another piece of content, and check out my other videos over here that are going to help you improve your health. I'll see you in the next video.